President Trump's one big, beautiful bill, the biggest, most sweeping legislation of his second term. This landmark law promises major tax cuts, tighter border security, and sweeping social program changes. It's not just a tax bill, it transforms healthcare, education, welfare, immigration, and even reshapes America's global standing. In this video, we'll break down exactly what the bill includes, why it was introduced, its short and long-term impacts, how it affects the world, and most importantly, how you can prepare. Next, let's break down what's actually inside the OBBB. Here's a slide summarizing the main parts. These permanent tax cuts aim to keep more money in most families' pockets. Meanwhile, new deductions, like no tax on tips or overtime pay, directly target working Americans. But at the same time, there are major cuts to safety net programs, Medicaid and SNAP, and significant reductions in education funding. Finally, large sums go to border security and new immigration enforcement measures. And there's even a new tax on remittances, which affects immigrant families sending money abroad. Why did President Trump push for this bill? Let's look at this next slide together. These bullet points highlight the administration's main motivations: tax relief, economic growth, tough immigration policy, and welfare reform. By reading through these points, we understand this isn't just about taxes. It's about reshaping the federal government's role in everyday life. Let's talk about where the bill stands now and when changes kick in. As we follow this timeline together, we see that while some tax benefits start immediately, other provisions, especially the tougher social program changes, are phased in gradually. The strategy was designed to show quick benefits while delaying controversial cuts. Now, what can you expect right away? Let's go through these short-term impacts. The White House promises higher pay and lower taxes for many. But on the other side, the Congressional Budget Office estimates millions could lose health care or food assistance. Now, let's look at this chart comparing deficit projections. This big difference shows just how sharply opinions diverge on the financial future. Moving into the long-term effects, let's check out this slide. This tells a sobering story: less economic growth, higher debt, and major shifts in who supports vulnerable citizens. On the cultural side, we also see moves toward more patriotic curriculum and a focus on individual responsibility over federal safety nets. These points suggest long-lasting changes in how Americans live, learn, and receive support. Now, let's look at how this bill affects the rest of the world. By withdrawing from the Paris climate deal, the U.S. is stepping away from global climate cooperation. Taxes on money sent abroad hurt immigrant families and may strain diplomatic relations. Meanwhile, new sourcing rules could create trade rifts with Europe and Asia. So what should you do to prepare? Let's break this down group by group because the impacts and the strategies are different for each. Low-income families face new work requirements for Medicaid and SNAP benefits. Millions could lose access to food assistance or health coverage. To prepare, double-check eligibility. Keep meticulous documentation of work or training hours, and connect with local aid organizations for backup support. High-income families and businesses will benefit from permanent 2017 tax cuts, an expanded SALT deduction cap, and new business incentives. To prepare, maximize these deductions now. Plan for future tax shifts, and consult with tax advisors to optimize your long-term strategy. Retired citizens will receive a new $6,000 senior deduction, reducing their taxable income and providing some relief on retirement benefits. To prepare, use this deduction fully and keep an eye on healthcare changes that may affect access or costs. Students face major changes to loan programs starting in 2026, including the elimination of popular income-driven repayment plans and new borrowing caps for graduate loans. To prepare, review current loan options, explore scholarships and grants early, and plan for alternative ways to finance education before the new rules take effect. Tipped and overtime workers benefit from temporary tax deductions on tips and overtime pay, but these expire in 2028. To prepare, carefully track all income, claim deductions each year, and start planning now for when these tax breaks phase out. Small business owners can take advantage of expanded deductions and immediate expensing, giving them more cash flow flexibility for investments and growth. To prepare, use these deductions strategically to reduce taxable income, make necessary investments now, and work with financial advisors to ensure compliance and maximize benefits. International community members face a more unilateral U.S. policy, with retaliatory taxes, withdrawal from the Paris Agreement, and changes to global trade. To prepare, while there may not be a specific individual preparation plan, affected businesses and communities should monitor U.S. trade policy closely and consider alternative markets or supply chain adjustments. By understanding these detailed points and acting early, you can better adapt to these sweeping policy shifts and protect your financial well-being. To wrap up, let's review the main takeaways. This bill represents a major turning point in U.S. policy, reshaping not only taxes and spending, but the entire social contract and America's place on the global stage. What do you think? Will it spur growth and prosperity, or increase inequality and debt burdens for future generations? Comment below with your thoughts. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps me and encourages me to keep posting videos on US and global issues. Thank you for watching.